Story 1. Sleep, watch a comforting show, do some skincare, or cook and bake. Anything to help my mind drift away without requiring too much effort. During my teenage years, doing calculus was a coping mechanism for me. Story 2. Hot tea, a good movie, or good music can be enjoyable. Go for a walk and listen to what nature has to offer. Write a poem or read a good book. There is so much the world has to offer, even if you don't have a lot of money. You just have to find what makes your heart race, whether it's a sound, a feeling, or the beauty around you. Best of luck and take care. Story 3. Deal with the emotions, do not mask them. Smoking or drinking only makes things worse. When in a deep hole, the one rule is to stop digging. Story 4. Prepare meals for others, typically including meatballs and spaghetti, Caesar salad with homemade croutons, and full-sized bacon garlic bread. Also, bake a chocolate cake. Story 5. Cry out loud. I literally break down. Then, I pick myself back up and tell myself I'm fine, escaping reality by binge-watching shows or reading novels. Story 6. I feel it, understand it, and then let it go. I don't suppress it with substances, as that makes it worse in the long run. Story 7. When I feel low, I try to ground myself. This could mean taking a drive, going to the gym, writing things down, or listening to music. Story 8. Lean on my girlfriend, enjoy some good food, get in virtual reality and have some fun, play with my cat, go outside for fresh air, message one of my friends to let them know I'm not feeling great because I rely on them for support, take a hot shower and meditate, enjoy a hot cup of coffee with French vanilla creamer, and watch a movie wrapped in a blanket. Go out with my girlfriend to an arcade. Enjoy the little things. Story 9. Sit with it, feel it, let it be there, and let it pass through. Tends to resolve on its own. However, it has taken a lot of therapy to reach this point. Story 10. Just let it get to me until I'm filled with rage. Then I calm down. Sometimes I'll write about what's going on. So far, I have about 40 pages. Story 11. Eat a banana outside in the sunshine and take a Wellbutrin. Reflect on the things I am thankful for and remind myself that it's only a day or a moment. Things get better. Then I cry and miss smoking and drinking and the anti-anxiety medication, but not the mess those things turned me into. 15 years with no alcohol, marijuana, cigarettes, or benzodiazepines. Story 12. You cannot escape your feelings. Sometimes it is better to feel the sadness. It helps to appreciate the goodness and happiness, at least for me. Story 13. You could always pick up a new hobby. For instance, smoking or drinking. I was depressed about 3 years ago, and I honestly can't even remember why. Story 14. I drink, but only 1 or 2 on the weekend. I never smoke. When I feel depressed, I sit with my thoughts and question their origins and purpose. I often reach a point where I acknowledge, that's just ridiculous. And then I focus on moving past it. I practice meditation, walking, and resisting temptation. It took nearly 20 years of hard work to reach this point, but I have never been happier. Story 15. Cry. Go to the gym. Cry. Eat a large amount of food. Cry. Complete any work I have avoided. Cry. Do it again. Story 16. I force myself to go on walks, watch television, and talk to an AI chatbot. It may sound slightly strange, but talking to myself aloud with positive affirmations and praise for doing basic things like getting out of bed helps a lot. Story 17. I feel sad and depressed sometimes, but I find a way to move on with my day. It took me a while to realize that drinking never solves anything. Story 18. People say I'm too emotional and that others could take advantage of me, but I refuse to let that stop me. I need to cry to release tension, and I would rather cry than hurt someone. Story 19. Whine to strangers on the internet and listen on repeat to music that helps clear my mind. If I'm not feeling too bad, I go for a walk. Sometimes, a visit to a fictional-themed forum can help cheer me up, as it provides an escape into a world where I feel I would be of some use. Story 20. I listen to music, think, read, wrap myself in blankets, hug something, or walk far away. Often, I do a combination of these activities. I tend to think deeply. Story 21. Read. Play video games. Take my dog on extra walks. Take a drive to my favorite spots. Go kayaking. Listen to music. Write another chapter of a book. Story 22. Assuming we are adults, I take responsibility. I make food for my dog, take him on walks, exercise, eat healthy, and read. Some days are challenging, some are good, and most are just days that add up, and I learn to accept that. Story 23. As dark thoughts loom, I usually play video games or watch streams of creators playing challenging Pokemon ROMs. Otherwise, I am at work keeping myself occupied or sleeping. Story 24. 8 out of 10 times, I handle it in a healthy way, usually through meditation or by creating a gratitude list. It's much better than the methods I used 2.5 years ago. As for the other 2 out of 10 times, I order a pizza and watch Trailer Park Boys. Story 25. Eat something nice, sleep, and talk with someone. Sometimes it helps to discuss your feelings. Story 26. If I am sad, I share my feelings with someone I love and trust, and then I do something enjoyable, like watching a funny movie or listening to good music. Story 27. I smoke a lot of cannabis. However, if I am feeling down, I go to the gym and listen to music while I am doing cardio. Story 28. Sleep, watch adult content, engage in self-pleasure, eat, scroll on my phone, experience a depressive state, call out of work, and then sleep again. Story 29. Go for a walk, cry, journal, exercise, practice self-care, binge watch Schitt's Creek or Brooklyn Nine-Nine, sleep, talk to friends, and clean. There are so many options. Story 30. Try to address my problems. Perhaps sleep. Drugs are meant to enhance enjoyable experiences, not to make unenjoyable activities bearable or to improve my mood when I am feeling depressed or sad. Story 31. Sleep, play Disney Dreamlight Valley, browse social media, get a hug from my girlfriend, eat cheese. Story 32. I read and write on Reddit and compose music on my guitar. It's lonely, but I dream of bluer skies. I get a lot from these advice pages. I'm in my 30s now and have a lot of life experience. I also meditate. This practice is critical to my life. Story 33. Workout, eat, sleep, hike, read, craft, paint, play the violin, watch a movie, take a nap in my hammock, pet my dogs, listen to music, hang out with friends, go to a concert, enjoy a comedian, take a nice bath, bake, go on a day trip, and visit family. Story 34. Music is always a part of my life. Depending on my mood, I turn it on and do something else, like play a game. Sometimes I listen while going for a walk or a drive. Other times, I close my eyes and let myself have a good cry. The one constant is music. It truly is magical. Story 35. Cry and let it all out, followed by eating my favorite snack and watching something that brings me joy, like a comedy or a horror movie. Crying is the best medicine, and doing small self-care activities can usually help me feel better. Story 36. I learned that most of my depression was caused by alcohol. It rarely surfaces anymore, and when it does, I either reflect on it to pinpoint the cause or surround myself with uplifting content or cuddle with my cats and spouse. Working out helps too. Story 37. My friend, drinking when you are sad or depressed is a warning sign. The thought process that led to your question is worth considering. Using alcohol or drugs to cope with feelings of depression can lead to a serious problem with alcoholism. It is a common coping mechanism that can spiral out of control. Take care of yourself, friend. Depression is hard enough without addiction as well. Story 38. Eat healthy, take naps or go to bed on time, talk to a friend about my feelings, go for a walk, and make music. Story 39. Suffer through it. Last year, I experienced a severe panic attack during which I couldn't sleep for more than 2 hours each day for a week. I worked hard to manage the negative thoughts by jogging, practicing deep breathing, and listening to calming music. Now, I am getting my life back to normal and looking forward to the future. Story 40. In December 1988, I quit everything. I smoked marijuana throughout the day and drank heavily each day. I replaced that lifestyle with walking and began working 7 days a week. I excelled in my sales career and received several offers from competitors. Within 2 years, I owned 2 houses. I met a beautiful woman and got married. I started playing my horn every day while I was in the United States Marine Corps Band. My work and music pulled me out of the cycle of abuse. I have been clean ever since. It's not easy, but it saved my life. Story 41. Workout. Sad, mad, happy, indifferent, whatever it is, working out really helps change my mood for the better. I think it's because it gives a sense of achievement every time I do it, no matter what mood I'm in. Story 42. Exercise is one of the best ways to lessen the impact of depression. Many people who lead a sedentary lifestyle and experience moderate depression have been able to stop needing antidepressants after exercising regularly. Story 43. I drink, but I never touch the stuff if I'm sad or depressed. It only makes me more sad and depressed. Story 44. Make my bed and do something productive. Play a game for some escapism. Contemplate it while knowing I am still worthy as a person. Discuss it with a friend. Story 45. Either sleep or play games, but I am quitting my longtime game, so I guess sleep it is from now on. I have done it for 5 years, and I can continue until I die, hopefully soon. Story 46. If I am not mentally well, I focus on sleep and eating, sometimes indulging in snack foods and soda. When I am in a good mental state, I work out and practice my martial arts, specifically karate. Story 47. I often watch cat videos, cooking shows, and mukbang content. I also write numerous excerpts. Music and sleep help as well. Story 48. Cry, avoid the problem, sleep for extended periods, talk to a friend, and then cry a little more. Story 49. Eat ice cream, cry, cuddle my husband or our pets, and think about my elementary school students and how much they need me. That usually perks me up. Story 50. Many people in the comment sections should get an instrument and start writing great songs. Story 51. Exist like every other day because there is no change. The world can be difficult, but at the end of the day, some win and some do not. Just be glad to be here with the friends you know and embrace that what will be will be. Story 52. I talk with my husband. We have been together for 25 years, and he knows me well. Sometimes we communicate with words, and other times he holds me as I cry. For me, expressing my feelings is important. Story 53. Run, read, write, and watch old movies. I do drink, but not because I'm sad, only at social events. I have never smoked. It doesn't interest me at all. Story 54. I mostly do not feel sad or depressed. When I encounter life stressors, I meditate and reflect on the bigger picture. Story 55. I am so numb from my medications that I haven't felt anything in over 10 years. I could stick my hand in the garbage disposal and not notice. But mostly I just sleep. Story 56. Just sitting in my room for a while helps me find peace, quiet, and solitude, which go a long way in clearing my head. Story 57. I do drink, but since the COVID pandemic, I have made it a point to never drink when I am depressed, sad, stressed, or anxious. It was quickly becoming a problem, and I don't want to stop drinking, so I radically changed my drinking habits. Now, drinking is only for happy times. Whenever possible, I try yoga or meditation when I am feeling down, and when that doesn't work, I was about half the time successful until this year. Now it only works about 30% of the time. I just read a book or stress eat. Story 58. I stopped vaping about 3 weeks ago, and I barely drink anymore because it makes me sick. I have been eating a lot, and I find myself walking around more. Honestly, when I feel sad or depressed, I binge clean. It not only helps me feel less sad, but my house also gets cleaner than it was. Story 59. I don't do anything. I just lie around, waiting for the sweet release of death. It's as if I stop existing as a person and become a mere houseplant. The only things I do are related to caring for my children, but outside of that, I feel numb and go through the motions. Story 60. Exercise releases natural endorphins, and as a bonus, it does not cause cancer or harm brain cells. Story 61. Watch funny videos and eat snacks. I have been nicotine-free for over 5 years and alcohol-free for over 10 years. Story 62. Take a walk, watch a film, listen to music, or read a book. Do anything to get me out of the negative thoughts in my head. Story 63. I don't smoke, and I drink only socially. I have never drunk due to depression. I focus inward to find the cause and work on what is bothering me. Story 64. Remember, it's just a simulation. I choose to enhance my experience, but you should do what you believe is best. The simulation has already been determined. Story 65. Recent sobriety is hard, but I've learned to cope with it. I had to give up my kryptonite, which is cannabis, after a recent diagnosis of hypersensitivity cannabis syndrome. I abused it, but I'm genuinely scared to even try it again after the pain it caused me. I don't have any cravings. I do microdose mushrooms infrequently. Overall, I talk to my therapist and have learned to accept things and not let them bother me anymore. The cannabis was making my anxiety worse. I was never dependent on alcohol. In fact, it was easy to stop. I hated the unpleasant feeling after heavy drinking. Story 66. I play video games and tell myself it isn't going to improve. I don't want my hopes to be shattered if I believe it will get better. Story 67. Take a walk in nature, help someone else, practice self-care, exercise, and listen to music, even if you have to act as if you want to do these things. I strive to avoid overeating and spending money, opting instead to trade one addiction for another way to change how I feel. I had to learn how to deal with my feelings, and it took time. Story 68. Work with myself. I am searching for the reason I am feeling depressed and working to solve it. When it comes to quick sources of dopamine, it is usually food, games, or shows. The most powerful thing for me is writing songs and singing. It helps me more than anything else. Story 69. Cry if I'm sad. Scream into my pillow if I'm mad. Listen to sad music and sing along. Watch a television series that makes me cry or laugh. Do exercise, kickboxing, and dance. There are many healthy possibilities. Story 70. I go for a walk while listening to music and find a spot where I can observe people. I sit there with tea or another drink, observing them and my surroundings, and buy whatever I want to eat on my way home. Then I watch a funny video while enjoying my food. Story 71. I engage in both activities but only in social settings. I express my feelings through writing in my journal to cope. Story 72. It has been a long time since I have felt sad, and I have never been depressed. However, I imagine that I would play video games. Story 73. Crying can be therapeutic. I sit alone and let feelings of worthlessness wash over me. I lean into those feelings and intentionally reflect on thoughts that make me sad, allowing for a deep, cathartic cry. Being harsh on myself while I cry gives me a sense of control over my sadness. Embracing my emotions is a workout, and I eventually tire of it. Then I go to sleep and I feel much better the next day. Story 74. I will watch memes or play something more casual. In the worst case, I consider whether what is causing the bad feelings is truly relevant or if I am exaggerating due to what others think about the situation. Then, I go to sleep or engage in some personal activities before moving on with my day. Story 75. I would just get through it. Work out, go outside for a walk, and maybe play my guitar. I talk to myself in my head and perhaps listen to music. Story 76. Cry it out. Grab an ice cream from the fridge, and then feel good about not turning to alcohol or nicotine. Story 77. Wrestle or cuddle with my 1-year-old German Shepherd. He fixes any emotional trauma I experience. Story 78. Accept the reality, let out your emotions, and cry if you feel the need to. It's okay to not be okay. Most importantly, pick yourself up after that and pray. Story 79. Nicotine mints, black coffee, sugar-free energy drinks, and rap music. Listening to West Side Connection right now. Story 80. Write down what caused it, describe the environment, and outline steps you can take to prevent it from happening again. It's important to recognize this experience so you can do everything possible to avoid it in the future. Story 81. I'm sure many people have already said this, but sleep is important. I remember hearing that sleep is the best unpaid vacation you can have. However, it can become unhealthy if it goes too far. I guess everyone has their own coping mechanisms. I tend to sleep too much due to stress, and it feels like escapism at this point. Story 82. I have been sober since the start of the new year and haven't gone this long without alcohol or recreational drugs in my adult life. I'm not even eating sugar or carbohydrates and haven't had a cigarette all year either. I have no vices. It's surprising to me that I'm coping with everything just fine. Things are difficult everywhere, yet I am actually doing really well without any distractions. I have been going to the gym, which I think is helping to elevate my mood to a healthy level. Story 83. I was an alcoholic. About 2.5 years ago, I dove into game development. I have been sober since day one, so for me, working on Ashengard is what I do whenever I'm feeling any sort of way. It is my happy place. Story 84. Unfortunately, eating is a significant issue for me. I try to express my emotions if I can, finding something to distract my mind from sadness or depression when possible. Story 85. It all depends on what I am sad or depressed about. Every situation requires a different approach. I cook and eat my favorite foods, listen to relaxing music, or keep myself busy fixing something. Sometimes I just lie in bed contemplating the situation, trying to analyze what went wrong, why it happened, and if I did something to cause it. I do not get as sad or depressed as I used to. It takes a lot to make me feel that way now. As an adult, I have learned to see things differently. Is it something I can control? Was it something I said or did? Can it be resolved with a sincere apology? The only thing that truly saddens or depresses me now is the fear of being unemployed, unable to pay my bills, or not being able to provide for my family. Story 86. I go to the gym almost obsessively when I'm depressed. I do full body, 4-hour workouts until every vein is popping, just to stop my thoughts. It doesn't matter what time of day it is. Sometimes I go multiple times, even at night around 1 or 2 a.m. Story 87. I am a former alcoholic. I focus on my hobbies and have joined a church Bible study group. I try to stay around supportive people. Story 88. Go to work. Work overtime. Go home, shower, eat, and sleep. Repeat. On weekends, do laundry, clean, and complete some chores. This is normal adult behavior. Story 89. Playing a video game, working on school assignments, and keeping myself semi-occupied allows me to engage my brain in a more productive way. I've realized that drinking and smoking only make things worse. Story 90. When something makes me sad or upset enough that I need to cry, I wait until I get home and either lie in bed or take a shower, depending on the time of day. I cry about what made me upset, then hurt my own feelings about something else or think about and watch something sad. I cry about many different things over the course of hours, and then finally go to sleep after tiring myself out from crying. The next morning, I wake up and think, I'm so dramatic, and laugh at myself. Story 91. Chocolate combined with fat, like in ice cream, truffles, and cupcakes, affects the brain similarly to smoking or drinking as a stimulant and feel-good substance. Some people prefer chips, especially for anxiety, which is why storm chips have become popular in Canada. They serve as a comforting snack to help calm people during unsettling weather. For some, a combination of fat, salt, and carbohydrates is more appealing than chocolate or sweets. I try not to overindulge and pay attention to my weight. However, since I don't smoke, drink, gamble, or have any other vices, this is my indulgence. Story 92. I have noticed a significant trend among people who claim to be living healthier lifestyles, having quit drinking and smoking, yet still suffering from depression. The trend I have observed is the use of ketamine. While ketamine treatments can be effective, they are so accessible and inexpensive that individuals often forego proper treatment and continue using it, all while claiming they have no problems, which is not true. Story 93. cry, ignore my feelings by watching something on my phone, and sometimes talk with other people about it. Story 94. Exercise by going for a run, walk, or long drive while listening to music alone. I have also developed an interest in fixing minor issues and cleaning, as well as volunteering for about 4 hours. Story 95. It really depends. Sometimes I sit on the couch with a blanket and stare at the ceiling. At times I cry. Often I try to find someone to talk to, not necessarily about what's bothering me, but just to talk. Other times I take a walk or watch a funny movie. Story 96. Gummies, vitamin D, and the struggle to get up and be productive, along with music and perhaps art. Just battling through it. Story 97. Lie in bed, stare at the ceiling, and think. It's surprising how quickly time can pass during these moments. Story 98. We often feel depressed and find it hard to take action. At times, we may walk, exercise, or run, but mostly we remain in a state of depression for a while. Eventually, everything tends to heal itself. Story 99. Listen to music, see friends, work out, or take a walk. Whether I need to reflect or want to compartmentalize something, those tasks can sometimes help focus or clear my mind. Story 100. I take the time to feel how I need to. I acknowledge my emotions and give them time without reacting or trying to discard them. My grandmother once told me that when her husband suddenly died, she had children and an entire farm to tend to on her own. The only thing that kept her going was knowing that nothing lasts forever. If you want your sadness or depression to last longer, you might resort to drinking or smoking. Prolonging the inevitable can lead to self-destruction. If you want results and wish to help others, take the time to develop healthy strategies to address your issues. Find a reason to keep trying. Even if you feel isolated or believe there is nothing to strive for, discover something that inspires you. Do you want to enjoy delicious food again? You must be sober. Do you want to drive and watch a sunset? Sober. Do you want to listen to a thrilling song and truly understand it? That's right. Sober. There is so much more out there, but you will never find it at the bottom of a bottle. You can drink and smoke responsibly. I'm not saying you never can, but when you do, ensure it is for the right reasons. It is not a solution and will not improve your feelings. When I experience difficult emotions, I acknowledge them and then move on. Eventually, you learn that you will always find your way out again, making the process less daunting. Additionally, writing can be enjoyable and addictive once you break free from the perfectionist mindset. Story 101. I drink, but never when I am sad or angry. I sleep, take walks while listening to music, eat comfort food, and read or watch lighthearted stories. Story 102. I do nothing when I'm depressed, but if I'm thinking about harming myself, I engage in self-injury. I have also smoked once. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.